What's good, everybody? This your boy GueirlaSParks coming in, and over the weekend I got a chance to try the open beta for The Division, and let me just say, it really impressed me. It sold me on the game. This game went from being a game that I was going to ignore to a game that I will be getting day one. I love the RPG elements of the game. I love the third-person shooter aspects of the game. I love the co-op aspects of the game. And some things that I want to get into detail about what I like about the game is the open world, the persistent open world. I don't actually know the technical term for this, but persistent open world to me means that all the pieces are on the board already. Everything is loaded. All the characters are loaded. Everybody could run around and see each other. There's no characters loaded in as they get closer to you like there was in Grand Theft Auto, and I really enjoyed that. You can follow NPCs across the map. You can follow players across the map, and they could follow you across the map. That really piqued my interest because me and my best friend were talking about how we would love a game that would do that to a greater extent than Grand Theft Auto did, and we got that game, and I'm really impressed that we got it. Another thing that I liked about the game was the environments and the textures of the environment. And the game got a graphical downgrade from what we saw in the E3 trailer, but even though they got this graphical downgrade, the game looks really good. What made me apprehensive about trying this game was that Watch Dogs, their previous game, is kind of like this, kind of the same environment, but it got a graphical downgrade and it looked shitty. It ran shitty, and to me personally, it was boring as all get out. So I couldn't really fuck with that game, so it really turned me off from this game. But after playing the open beta, I really enjoyed this game, and they had a bunch of weather effects in the game where it was so much detail in how rain fell. It was so much detail in how snow fell. It was so much detail in how fog freaking inhibited the view of your character. Like the snow would fall, it will build up on everything in the environment. It will build up on your character's shoulder. It just really impressed me how they pretty much put the system into a PS4 system. They put it on the PS4. The PS4 is not as powerful as a PC, as we all know, but they had this in the PS4, and that really impressed me. They also had specific light freaking effects in the game, and one light effect that I want to really hone in on is the light shaft. In the real world, when light shines into a darker room when it's bright outside, it creates a light shaft. And they actually had this in the game, and that really impressed me. The game really looked good. I mean, you can actually, if you pay attention to what kind of clothes you wear and the actual textures of the clothing from the material that they use, they actually had that in the game. You can tell if your person was wearing a leather jacket, or if he was wearing polyester, if he was wearing cotton, if he was wearing linen, if he was wearing suede. Everything, they had different textures. It all looked different. Another thing that I liked about the game is the loot system. The loot system was beautiful. It's not like how Destiny is an RPG and a shooter as well. But this game's loot system was so much better than Destiny's. In Destiny, you can be like freaking god tier, and at the end of whatever round or whatever match you're trying to do, whatever raid, you would get some shitty ass gear, or you wouldn't get some stuff that you get. In this, no matter what you do, you always have a chance of getting some stuff that's actually usable, that's actually feasible for a build that you're trying to build. And another thing, now that we're talking about builds, I love the RPG build mechanics. Like you get gear, and the gear affects your stats, and the stats that affect is your health, your damage, or your skill power. So you can really tailor your character to play whatever role you want them to be, whether it's a build, whether it's a freaking tank, whether it's a medic, whether it's recon, or whether it's just a nigga who just goes in and fuck everything up. You can build the character the way that you want to build. And another thing that I liked about it is that these skill points also go into your weapons, because your weapons have talents. And if you don't know about RPG, you hit a certain threshold of talent and it unlocks a new skill or a new buff that your character has from holding this weapon. And I really like that. Some things that I didn't like was the bosses. Well, I love the bosses. The bosses were very unique. They were powerful, but if you're playing by yourself, they can be a bullet sponge. But if you play with friends, they are easy as all get out, especially if you have strategy and everybody has a different build and everybody's running with different skills. You make quick work of bosses easily. Another thing that I didn't like was I didn't like how the rogue system in the dark zone was handled. Basically, you could pop a couple shots off on a guy and he would go in alert mode, but then in alert mode, his arm would still turn red from wherever the technology is connected. So, I mean, you can mistake him. Like the first couple times this had happened, I shot the player, thinking that he was a rogue, and then I ended up going rogue. I didn't like how that was handled. And another thing that I didn't like is with the same alert system before you go rogue, I like to use the turret and and I have a skill power based build. I like to use the turret because it does a lot of damage, and it's good for suppressing enemies. So we would get ran up, we would be hunting either rogues, or like me and another group would be like trying to take down a couple NPCs, and like I would throw the turret out, and then like the other guy would either shoot one of the other friendly guys and go into alert mode, and then the rogue would pretty much just go haywire, aim at him, and unload all the clips, which would make me and my squad go rogue. And I didn't like that. They need to tweak the AI of the rogue to identify who's rogue, who's not, who's an enemy, who's a threat, who's not. They really need to fix that, because that was a big issue, and I saw in a lot of forums that a lot of people are having this issue as well. So it's not just me having this issue. And another thing that I didn't like was rogue spawn killing. And basically what I mean by that, in order to get into the dark zone, you have to go through a checkpoint, or you have to climb the wall into the dark zone. And what rogues would do is they would pretty much camp at the checkpoints and kill anybody who walks through the door. And one possible fix that I would have for this is basically, if you just make the first 10 to 15 meters of entering the checkpoint, just make it a friendly fire zone where you can't be attacked by other characters or other player characters, but you still can attack NPC characters and stuff like that. But overall, I really like this game. I will be getting it day one. It sold me. I mean, that's all I could say. I'm really looking forward to it. It made me hungry for what the real game would bring, what the full release game would bring. I'm really hungry for this. And me and my friends, me and my squad, gang, we all looking forward to this game. And I mean, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any advice on how I could do better, or how I can, I don't know, just get better, leave it in the comment section. And you know, that's all. Your boy GueirlaSParks is out. Peace.